Now, for more, let's bring in NJ Ayuk, Executive Chairman of the African Energy Chamber and also the author of several books on the energy industry. He joins us now.
Hi, Mr. Ayuk. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
For those who are not familiar with the African Energy Chamber, would you like to tell us a little bit about the African Energy Chamber? For example, objective and goals and main agenda for the African Energy Chamber, and then how to leverage the all-rich Africa to transform to or the support promote the African economic development, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah.
Thank you for having me. I think that it's a great opportunity to talk to you. The African Energy Chamber is the umbrella organization and the representative of all the energy and natural resource companies working in Africa. We also represent the majority of those who really work in this. So it goes from companies to associations to employees of the oil and natural resources companies working in Africa. But also most important, it is the issues that we advocate for. Free market capitalism, limited government, and driving a lot for energy to get into Africa because we have a continent where the majority still don't have any access to electricity. Imagine that, 850 million people, no access to any kind of electricity, any kind of power. The African Energy Chamber brings the industry together to really drive and find solutions to really resolve everyday problems. But when we do that, we create jobs, we create opportunity, and we improve our continent.
Got you. I understand the Africa continent has a 50 plus country, right? Also, as an Asian, we have a brief understanding is that Africa is a oil rich in terms of resources, oil rich continent. So, can you tell us a little bit in order to get us some sense? Can you tell us that which country play a key role in Africa's oil and gas industry, or plus which leading company doing that role too?
I mean, the companies have traditionally been American companies, European companies, Asian companies. American companies like Exxon have done work across Africa. Chevron, you've seen Total, you've seen E&I, and even BP. Asian companies coming out of China, like CNPC, CNOOC, you even have Petronas out of Malaysia, and you have a small independents who are really driving. And they have been doing exploration in countries that are natural resources, from Sudan and South Sudan, from Algeria on Egypt, coming right down to Angola and Nigeria, Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, Cameroon. So all over the continent, you've seen a big, massive reserve of oil that has been exploited. But there's something also which you would have to pay attention to: gas. Gas has become the new deal right now. And Asian players that need so much gas in order to drive their economy. So look at gas to power projects in Asia, gas to petrochemicals, gas to for other clean energy uses that they want to do. Gas has been big. You imagine this: Mozambique just discovered would become the third largest producer of natural gas in the world after Qatar and Russia. That's one country. Next to it, big gas discoveries around from Tanzania and South Africa. But Nigeria has had an amazing deposits of gas that has been monetized for a long time. They're going to start doing that. Some of the fastest LNG plants that have been built in the world, built in a small African country, Equatorial Guinea. The first floating LNG project in Africa was built in my home country, Cameroon. And so you've seen a lot of big renaissance. Tomorrow I'm going to Senegal, where I'm going to meet with the authorities there. They're going to do a big gas production out of the GTA. So gas is really taking over Africa faster than we ever thought, and I like that.
Yeah, I know that Iran was first largest producer of natural gas, but I didn't know that Africa has a lot of abundant natural gas energy in Africa.
Africa has more gas than Iran. Africa has more gas than Qatar. And Africa is going to have more gas than Russia because there are 54 countries. If Mozambique can easily become the third largest in the world once production starts, then imagine if you combine the gas out of Nigeria, you combine the gas from Algeria, you combine it together with Tanzania, you combine it with South Africa, Cameroon, Equatorial Guinea, Senegal. These would be massive. But it's not about who has what and who doesn't have what. It's about what you do with them. And as a chamber, we're saying, based on what you have, do something. Let us develop it to power our continent so that nobody can go to bed and or get up every day without electricity. To create jobs so young people cannot cross the Mediterranean or the Sahara and setting out for distant shores in Europe and dying on the way. So they can have jobs in their community. To invest in petrochemicals so that we can have urea, ammonia, NPK, and fertilizer plants so we can build agriculture in Africa so we don't have to go to Europe or America or to Asia and beg for food. When you can feed your people, then you are doing that which is good beyond that. But also we have to create an enabling environment to make it attractive for investors, money to come in to deliver that. So as a chamber, that's what I prepare myself with doing every day because we need to drive this. And because there are so many jobs without people and there are so many people without jobs. How do we bridge that gap and how will we work to close the gap between struggle and success? That is what we're hoping at doing. And that's what we've been doing the whole this time with the channel.
Yeah, got you. So Africa has a huge resources of oil and gases, and then also potential to develop the economy, integrating their resources with the general economy in Africa, right? So I feel that it is very important for the association promote the international collaboration. You told me that you have seen the Chinese company have making a lot of investment in Africa, but also in Asia we have more than 50 countries. So China is a huge economy, but the Japan and Korea advanced the economy. So you can find a way to collaborate with them in the future going forward.
We are improving our collaboration with Korea. The Koreans have been one of the most effective people in Africa when it comes into construction, when it comes into technology, when it comes into driving a new sense and a more balanced approach. We had a strong tradition working with Koreans because most of us, don't forget, most of the Asian countries were colonized too. They understand our traditions because a lot of us got our traditions out of Great Britain. So it's very easy for you to walk in, whether it is into Singapore or Indonesia or Malaysia or Hong Kong, and someone says, let's have tea time. We get it. Or someone says, let's have some bakery. We get it. We understand that. But that joint history, that shared sacrifice has to also turn into shared progress. And that is our job as young people. That is our job as business. That is our job because business can bring us together more than politics can. We've tried politics, it's not working. The politicians come in, they shake hands, they toast themselves, they drink, they go away, and then that's it. But when we get business moving, African, Asian business, whether it's coming out of Japan, some of the best nuclear facilities come out of Japan. Our gas goes into Japan. I'll give you an example. We worked in the past with Marubeni and Mitsui. They are one of the most amazing companies that you can work with in this area. And so you look at that and you say, how do we increase that relationship and that ability to work with companies like the Mitsui, Marubeni, Kenok? How do we even look at how we improve the relationship to work with Bumi Amada, Petronas, and other guys that are coming in the industry, and not just living when they think Asia, they think China. China is one country in the Asian continent, but it's a bigger Asia-wide community. We could learn a lot from Singapore, how to be small and build an enabling environment that can really drive and attract so much investment and drive that. We can learn from Hong Kong how you can be small, but enact the kind of individual freedoms, enact the kind of trade openness, and enact a stock market that had led to a lot of capital raising and capital increase that transformed the economy. We have so much to learn together, especially in the energy space, but it doesn't stop there. We all drive Toyotas and we all drive Hondas. We should be thinking where they came from, and we should be looking at the culture that built that, and we should be looking at saying, how do we collaborate with them to improve that around Africa? But I'll leave you with this. If we look at that and we say, now we're looking at energy transition, the change in the combustion on in moving into gas, LNG, into how cars are being run, the new electric cars, we should be looking at Asia and really trying to build it. And I tell you why, because they had the same history that we had. They were colonized, they were put down, they were let down, but they picked themselves up and built themselves up to become these Asian miracles and power we're seeing today. So we cannot just say, well, they knock us down. Like as Africans, we can say somebody might be responsible for you being down, but they're not responsible for you not getting back up. We can look at that model, how the Asians regrew, rebelled out of shame, but became something of a bonanza. And I think success is transferable. We can take the Asian miracle and implement it in Africa.
Yes, yes, I totally agree. Actually, the main theme of my podcast is in the Asian context, right? I told you before, so Asia is already home to the more than half world population. And in the last year, interestingly, Asian economy as a whole has become bigger than the rest of the world for the first time since 19th century. So very interesting momentum now.
Just amazing. And you imagine an Asian economy, the largest, biggest in the world, combined with an African economy that can grow, that can actually take off. Don't forget, you've seen 75% of the population of Africa is under 25 years old. Under 25 years old. That's a big, big market there.
Yeah, Asian are very old now. We are very old.
And that's
all the population. Yeah.
So you're going to be overproducing so much, you don't have consumers. Africans have a lot of young people who need jobs, they need to grow, they don't have that. So we have to think how we combine our people to really advance humanity, but also advance jobs, advance everything. But think about that. The largest free trade market now is within Africa, 1.5 billion person trade market. It is going to take off. And so we need to start thinking, how do we improve that? But energy is going to drive it. It's no longer just enough for Asian companies to come in and buy the resources and take over. I think they can still do a lot more to come in, develop the resources within Africa, whether it's gold, whether it's diamonds, whether it's other kind of mines, and really, really create industry and create it. What does that mean? That means that people locally start believing that they see joint partners and everything. You know, Africans are sometimes the feeling with Africans and Asians, like Africans want to get married, Asians just want to date. And they don't like that. You know, they want some commitment.
Yes, yeah, true. Because professionally, I work in the emerging frontier market since 1990s, and then I work in the many part of the emerging market in Asia. But way to collaborate and grow together and co-evolve together in the emerging and frontier market, we need to have a little bit longer term of the time frame and the collaboration and commitment, as you mentioned. If you want to make a quick bucks, then they need to go to Wall Street, right? Or they should come to the Hong Kong. But
go to Hong Kong or go to Wall Street or go to London and hang out with big.
But it's a matter of time. We have observed how Chinese economy has evolved for the last 30 years. I have observed that. So in the beginning, a lot of doubt, actually, including my company. When we visited China 30 years ago, the investor from the larger economy, they have a lot of complaint, right? Because they always try to compare apple to orange, right? That's a wrong approach. But we know that how those emerging market, frontier market has evolved and grow. So it's a matter of time for the Africa too. I personally believe Africa will become the breadbasket for the rest of the world, sooner or later. So
it has to be. It has to be. We have no choice. It has to be. So many young people, so many children. We have to provide for them, but also we have to also be part of our own common humanity that shares into the problem. We can no longer be the people that just receive foreign aid and just receive aid. That nonsense has to stop, and we have to turn it around and say, we are contributing, we're doing joint venture,
Yes, yes.
we investing,
As a partner.
we are a partner, and we are putting skin in the game. We are truly driving this. And that's one of the things that the chamber advocates a lot, because when we start driving that, we start having true partnerships, people start moving, our stock exchanges start working, and everything, you start bringing in people from different areas to really, really drive that which can be the Africa that we deserve. Because Africa together, working with Asia, we have a better chance to really grow out. But isn't it beautiful to see two continents that have been colonized and marginalized could rise up and really become the advocates of free markets, of driving business and investment flows and innovations and driving new things? I'm so excited about whether you're moving from cryptocurrency or bitcoins or energy currency, or driving new things with gas to power projects, petrochemicals, oil and gas, and drilling, and really improving the lives of our people. That is what we need to be doing, because we owe it to our people to do that.
Yeah. I often told the people in the other part of the market, I'm from the South Korea originally, and I'll tell people that the Korea shows a lot of experience with other frontier market. I mean, Korea, after the Korean War in 1950, 1960, Korea used to be a poorest country in the world. The GDP per capita, like something like a $50, $60. And then they quickly grow. The last years, Korea becomes one of the 10th largest economy. Even GDP per capita, they exceeded Italy and some European country. So they apply and then tried a lot of things to discipline people, young people, and then also provide a higher education and et cetera, et cetera. So there is something, apparently something for the two continents and with Korea to collaborate each other, help each other, and grow together, right?
We can learn those lessons. We can learn those lessons. The biggest thing right now is not asking people to coming down, give me money so I can do this development project, do the social project. Enough with that. You've spent so much money in aid. You spend so much money in this development project. You've had nothing. You've had no return. Right now, you have to look at investment and how you're going to invest in these communities. But also, you got to look at what fiscal and economic policies and business policies that were put in place to rise people out of poverty and make this investment work. So we got to tackle things like corruption and encourage transparency. We got to be tough on mismanagement. We got to facilitate and move fast to make sure that those contracts and bills are not being stuck, they're being moved fast and everything. We got to look at our taxes, and we got to reduce taxes, and we got to cut out unnecessary tariffs and cut out unnecessary municipality bills, make it really effective and really nice to really drive the market so that the markets can work. We got to look at how customs and duties and really improve that. But then we need to be able to invest in education now more than ever. Take a lot of young people, drive education. And it's not education of getting more people trying to be lawyers and trying to be get a PhD in history or get a PhD in literature. That is good. We don't need too many PhDs. We need PhDs, people who just get things done. So we get vocational training, and we get the right kind of training for people to get out there and see and use your hands and get out there, become go to do a 2-year program, become a 2-year expert in an offshore platform that you can take those skills, work, and you can even transfer them. Learn how to work in a power station so you can create power possibilities for your country, your community, and make that a business. Train how to really work on roads and road engineering and pipelines and all of that stuff, using your hand to become that. So our generation has to have more PhDs, because with these PhDs, we will be able to shape our environment and our business in our continent.
Agree, totally agree. Sometimes I told the people, sometimes we don't need many university as we have now. Maybe that we need to more people, young people who are willing to jump in, fix the problem on the ground.
Absolutely. I think having too many, I'm not against education, but I am for the right kind of education, looking at the time and the environment. The environment right now calls for a massive investment. We have to look at the world where the world is going. We just had a G7. They pledged to invest 37 or 35 or 37 trillion dollars. 35. So what does that mean? Are you prepared to catch those jobs that are coming for the future? So we need to think forward and start training young people to get involved and start seeing what are the jobs of the future? What is automation? What is going on with how the world is going to come? And how do we be that continent, those group of people that solve problems? And I think that's what the chamber keeps coming back to and saying, we're going to be a forward-thinking organization, and we are going to drive it. We have massive power. We have massive influence. It's all about how we use it and how we really push forward to make sure that this generation of Africans working with other people will not be left behind. We owe it to so many that are counting on us.
Got you. Yeah. The next question is for the Asian audience, Asian business people. What kind of collaboration and partnership are you looking for or promote through the association with the Asian country investor and partners?
I think it's going to be really amazing to work with Asian partners. I think, first of all, we want to learn, we want to grow. I know most people come in and say, bring money. I don't want to say bring money. I love money, I'm a capitalist.
Yes.
But for me, I say bring talent and bring skill and bring technology. I think the ability to bring talent, skill, and technology and use that to collaborate and build business partnerships and improve life. That is the most important than asking for somebody to write a check or give $5 or $10. That is not important, because when we do what I'm advocating for, we can really grow and we can improve jobs.
Agree. I agree. I mean, totally agree. Money only. I often told a lot of entrepreneurs as well. I mean, they are looking for the investor, but even if they make money, it doesn't mean that they can generate the sales. They can grow the business, right? A lot of they need to figure out how to put a lot of the resources together and then create the growth ecosystem, growth machine, right? So I understand that with the Asian partner, they should have you talk about long-term commitment. I'm totally agree with you. Yes.
We want to get married. We don't just want to date. Like I said, Asians want to date, Africans want to get married. We want that commitment. We don't want a one-night stand. They should see
Yes.
we are closer than we believe. Our culture, the food, the Asian, it's all international right now. Let us do that, but let's really have a stronger collaboration. And it goes within people. And as a chamber, we would create an ease and open those opportunities for them. We want them to come in. And also, there's something we're not looking. We want Africans to trade more with Asia. We want Africans to buy Asian products for our oil fields. We want Africans to buy Asian equipment for our gas fields. We want Africans to buy Asian equipment for a lot of things. So you have a very big manufacturing hubs and manufacturing bases. We should be tapping into that and buying that, so that our business people today could say we can open warehouses and deposits to bring in Asian products and work them within the continent. We should be looking at those kind of collaboration, because those kind of collaboration bring money to both sides, and both sides are winning because they're doing good, clean, clear business that drive our communities forward.
Gotcha. So from today on, I'm going to volunteer African Energy Ambassador for Asia for you.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I love the continent so much. Because of COVID, I have not traveled to Asia for 1 year. Mm-hmm. This is the first time in 15 years that I've not been to Asia. But we know it's going to happen. I got my vaccines. I have everything ready. I'm eager to get going again. But I think we will get there.
Okay. Got it. So my last question is, representing African Energy Chamber, what is the plan for this year and next year, and the long-term vision for African Energy Chamber to achieve your strategic objective? Yeah.
This year, our biggest goal has to be we're helping African countries recover from COVID-19. We've done a lot. We've done whether it is working with them on supplies and strategies and supporting them with COVID supplies. But beyond that, also creating more opportunities how to navigate the COVID environment, looking at health safety issues that how governments can enact that to help the industry continue to grow. But then also looking at big thing, how do they look at a post-COVID recovery? Because a post-COVID recovery, so that these economies can bounce right back and start to drive things again. That is so important right now as we see. But bigger than all of that, we are launching one of the best African Energy Week. It is going to have people from heads of states to ministers and governors around Africa, from Europe, from the United States, from Asian countries. And we would like to invite as many Asian businesses, as many Asian government officials to the largest energy week you would host in Africa, in Cape Town, South Africa. So there's going to be a lot of wine, there's going to be a lot of shopping, there's going to be a lot of happy people. We will be doing that this year. It is important, and also to be able to showcase that we can walk again, we can go again, and we can move again. So COVID restrictions would be there. If you're vaccinated, you get a discount. But before you get in the room, you have to get tested, mandatory testing across the board. If you don't get tested, you will not be approved to come in. So we'll make that, and that would work very well. We'll have an amazing event. But beyond that, next year, it would be a rumble for investment. We are going to be driving governments and really pushing governments to reform fast so that we can get investment in. But we're also going to defend Africa's position when it comes to energy transition. You cannot expect that Europe, America, and even Asian countries have used oil and gas resources and developed their economies. Just when Africa comes at a time to do same, you come and say Africa needs to cut off oil and gas resources. We don't agree with that. We think the race to net zero it's something which we all have to do. We believe in climate. Nobody believes in climate change more than Africans. But we also think we have to have a pragmatic, common sense path towards energy transition, because Africans still deserve the right to use natural gas, which is a transition fuel, to transform our economy, because we need cheap, affordable, and equitable energy transition. We cannot have a transition that is unjust, unfair, and that puts people back to poverty. That is something we cannot do. So we have a strategy from next year, and I'll tell you the Asian communities first. From January 1st, 2022, our goal will be to make energy poverty history. We want to make energy poverty history. It's no longer acceptable that 850 million Africans don't have access to any kind of electricity. So if there's going to be a cause of our life is to make this history, we need to beat that, because the arc of a moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. It doesn't bend by itself. It is when we get up, Africans, Asians, every day, working together, then we can make it. We can get there, and we can make that happen.
Gotcha. Thank you so much for the taking time and sharing introducing the African Energy Chamber and the strategic mission and your vision with the chamber. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And we'll be inviting you to Africa, and we're inviting your audience to Africa, and we're inviting many Asians to Africa, because this is your home, and we want Africa to be your second home.